Welcome to AI Toolbox, where we spotlight the absolute cutting edge of AI.
Yeah, and today we're diving headfirst into Perplexity AI and all their new updates.
It's really exciting to see all these developments happening, especially in the world of search.
Yeah, especially with AI coming into play.
For those who might not be totally familiar, can you give us the rundown of what Perplexity AI is?
Um, Perplexity AI is an AI-driven search engine, but it's not like your typical search engine.
Right.
It gives you precise answers backed by sources, so you know it's not just making stuff up.
Like at your fingertips, you have a fact checker,
Yeah, exactly.
and you can immediately see, like, okay, this is where they pulled this information.
It's like having a superpowered research librarian in your pocket.
Well, I like that. I like
Right.
that a lot.
Yeah.
So what's got everyone buzzing about Perplexity is they've rolled out a whole bunch of new updates.
They've really upped their game with this
What are
release.
some of the big ones?
So they've got Perplexity Pro, which is a subscription service that gives you more features and power. Then there's the Pages feature, which I think is a total game changer for sharing knowledge.
Hmm.
They've also added Focus Mode, which helps you narrow down your searches and get super specific.
Okay.
And for all the Android users out there, they've introduced an AI assistant that can help you with all sorts of daily tasks.
Whoa. That's a lot to cover. Let's
Yeah.
break it down one by one. Starting with Perplexity Pro, what exactly does it offer that the regular free version doesn't?
So with Pro, you get a lot more bang for your buck. For one, the query limits are way higher or even unlimited depending on your plan.
Okay, can you explain what those limits are?
Yeah, so in the free version, you might be limited to a certain number of searches per day or per hour.
Okay.
But with Pro, you can ask as many questions as you want without hitting a wall.
So it's like having unlimited refills on knowledge.
Exactly.
Nice.
Pro also gives you access to newer, more powerful AI models that can understand and respond to your queries in a much more nuanced way.
So it's like going from dial-up to broadband.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you're into personalization, you can customize your searches to your heart's content with Pro.
Sounds pretty tempting.
Yeah.
But for those of us who might be on a budget, what are those query limits like in the free version?
It depends on their usage, but it can be a bit restrictive if you're doing serious research.
Okay, so you might find yourself hitting that limit kind of quickly if you're really digging deep into something.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you might be like, come on, I just need to ask a couple more questions.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the Pages feature. This one I'm really curious about.
Okay, so the Pages feature lets you turn your searches into shareable web pages.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So like I could be doing research on Perplexity and then turn that search into a web page that I could share with anyone.
Exactly. Imagine you're researching something like the history of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
You ask your question, get a concise answer with citations, and then boom, you hit a button, and that whole thing turns into a beautiful web page.
No way.
Yep,
Ah,
ready to share with the world.
That's like a game changer for sharing information, especially if you're like a teacher or a student or even just someone who likes to share interesting stuff they find online.
Absolutely. It's like having a built-in research paper generator.
It's so cool.
And it's not just limited to academic stuff. You could use it for presentations, lesson plans, research reports, or just to share your latest intellectual obsession.
It's like a knowledge curator's dream come true.
Exactly. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
I'm already thinking of all the things I could use this for.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Okay, we have to keep moving though. We still have to talk about focus mode and the AI assistant.
Right, let's dive into those next.
Okay, so tell me about focus mode. What's so special about that?
Well, focus mode gives you much more control over your searches.
Okay.
Let's say you're researching a topic that can be a bit controversial.
Right.
Like, let's say the ethics of self-driving cars. With focus mode, you can filter out biased sources and just get information from neutral fact-checked sources.
Oh, so it's like you're telling the search engine, hey, I only want to see information from these types of sources.
Exactly.
That's pretty powerful.
Or maybe you're working on a research paper and you only want results from scholarly journals.
Yeah.
Focus mode gives you that granular control so you can really refine your searches and get exactly what you need.
So it's like putting blinders on your search engine to help you stay laser focused.
Exactly. It helps you cut through all the noise and get to the heart of the matter quickly and efficiently.
I can definitely see the value in that, especially when you're dealing with complex or sensitive topics.
Right. It's all about getting you the most relevant and reliable information possible.
All right, now let's talk about this AI assistant for Android. What can it actually do?
This is where Perplexity is moving beyond just searching the web and starting to integrate AI into our daily lives.
Okay, so we're talking about like an AI companion that can help us with everyday tasks.
Exactly. Like imagine you're on the go and you suddenly remember you need to book a flight. With the Perplexity AI assistant, you can just say, hey, book me a flight to wherever you need to go.
Wow.
And it'll pull up flight options, compare prices, and even help you book the best deal, all without you having to touch your phone.
That is so convenient.
Right, it's like having a personal assistant in your pocket.
But for those of us who might be a little bit wary of AI taking over our lives, is there a risk of becoming too reliant on these assistants?
That's a valid concern, and I think it's something we all need to be mindful of as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Right.
I think the key is to see these assistants as tools that can help us
Hmm.
not replace us. It's up to us to decide how and when to use them.
I think that's a good point. It's about finding that balance between leveraging the power of AI and still maintaining our own autonomy.
Exactly. It's about empowering us, not replacing us.
All right, so we've covered all the shiny new features of Perplexity,
Yeah.
but let's get real for a second. Are there any potential downsides to these updates? Are there any drawbacks we need to be aware of?
Yeah. Of course, like with any new technology, there are always trade-offs to consider.
What are some of those?
Well, one thing is that the most advanced features like higher query limits and access to the newest AI models are only available with Perplexity Pro.
Right, so if you want the full experience, you have to pay for it.
Exactly.
And for some users, that might be a deal breaker.
Right. Especially if they're on a tight budget.
Another potential issue I could see is the learning curve. Some of these features, like the Pages feature,
Yeah.
are pretty innovative,
Mm.
and it might take some time for users to figure out how to use them effectively.
It's like getting a new gadget. You have to play around with it a bit before you really master it.
Exactly. But hey, that's what we're here for, right?
Exactly. We're here to help our listeners navigate these new tools and unlock their full potential.
Okay, so we've talked about the features, we've talked about some of the potential downsides,
Yeah.
but the big question on everyone's mind is, how does Perplexity stack up against the giants of the search world, like Google and Bing?
That's a great question, and I think it's one that a lot of people are wondering about.
Right.
Perplexity's still relatively new compared to those behemoths,
Yeah.
but they're already making waves with their unique approach to search.
How so?
Well, while Google and Bing are definitely making strides with AI,
Hmm.
Perplexity's focus on concise, sourced answers sets it apart.
Interesting.
It's not just about finding information, it's about providing answers that are clear, credible, and easy to verify.
So it's like Perplexity saying, we're not just going to give you a million links. We're going to give you the answer you're looking for, presented in a way that's both insightful and easy to digest.
Exactly.
And with the Pages feature, you can even curate and share those answers with others,
Yeah, that's a powerful combination that's attracting a lot of attention.
especially from users who are tired of sifting through endless search results.
Absolutely.
It sounds like it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the philosophy behind it.
Yeah, I think so.
Perplexity is really emphasizing accuracy, transparency, and user empowerment.
I think that's really resonating with people, especially in today's world where misinformation is running rampant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the functionality, the features,
Mm-hmm.
but what about the actual user experience? Is Perplexity's interface easy to use?
Yeah, from what I've seen, they've done a great job of making it both powerful and intuitive.
Okay.
So whether you're a seasoned researcher or just a casual user, you should find it pretty easy to navigate.
That's good to hear because sometimes these new tools can be a bit overwhelming,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
but it sounds like they've struck a good balance between simplicity and functionality.
Exactly. They've managed to create a platform that's accessible to everyone
Hmm.
without sacrificing any of the power or flexibility that professionals and researchers need.
Okay, so we've talked about the features, the pros, the cons, the competition, but what about the real-world impact?
Right.
How do you see these Perplexity updates changing the way we learn, work, and interact with information on a daily basis?
That's a great question, and I think it's one that's still unfolding. But I believe these updates have the potential to revolutionize how we access and share knowledge.
Hmm. In what ways?
Well, imagine a world where research is more streamlined, education is more accessible, and staying informed about complex topics is easier than ever.
That sounds pretty utopian.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting prospect.
So it's not just about improving search, it's about actually improving our lives.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to learn, grow, and make informed decisions in all aspects of their lives.
That's a powerful vision, and it's inspiring to see how Perplexity is playing a role in shaping that future.
Yeah, I agree.
But let's not forget about the human element.
Huh?
How are people actually reacting to these updates?
From what I've seen, the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
Really?
Yeah, people are excited about the new features, especially the Pages feature.
Yeah, I could see why. It's such a cool concept.
It has a lot of potential to change how we share knowledge and create content.
So, like, Perplexity has tapped into this collective desire for a better way to learn and share.
Right. And the fact that they're actively encouraging people to try out the platform and give feedback shows their commitment to user-centric design.
It's like they're building a community around knowledge.
Exactly. And that community is going to be crucial to Perplexity's success.
Right, because ultimately it's the users who will determine whether these tools are truly valuable.
Absolutely.
Pretty remarkable to see how a relatively small company can shake things up and challenge the status quo.
It's a good reminder that innovation can come from anywhere,
Yeah.
and that the future of technology is in the hands of those who are willing to push the boundaries.
Well said. Okay, so before we move on to the ethical considerations, are there any other key takeaways from the community response that we should highlight?
I think the main takeaway is the excitement around the Pages feature.
Okay.
People are seeing it as a real game changer for education research and just sharing information in general.
Yeah, it seems like it has the potential to democratize knowledge in a way that we haven't really seen before.
Exactly. And it's not just about making information more accessible, but also more engaging and interactive.
It's like Perplexity is turning knowledge into something that's fun and shareable.
Exactly. And that's a really powerful thing.
All right, so let's talk about the ethical considerations.
Okay.
Because obviously with any powerful technology, especially AI,
Hmm.
there are always ethical questions that need to be addressed.
Right.
So what is Perplexity doing to ensure that their platform is being used responsibly?
Well, they've been pretty vocal about their commitment to ethical AI development,
Okay.
and they've taken some concrete steps to address those concerns.
Like what?
One big thing is their emphasis on transparency. By providing clear citations for all their answers,
Mm-hmm.
they're promoting accountability and allowing users to verify the information they're getting.
Right, so it's not just about giving you the answer, it's about showing you where that answer came from.
Exactly. It's about building trust.
Okay, that makes sense.
What else do they do?
They're also very committed to data privacy.
They've stated that they don't sell user data, and they take steps to protect user information.
That's good to hear because data privacy is a huge concern these days.
Oh, absolutely.
So it sounds like they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, they are.
What about the potential for bias or misinformation? Is Perplexity doing anything to address that?
Yeah, they've implemented a number of safeguards to try to prevent that.
Okay.
They use a combination of human oversight and AI algorithms to make sure that the information presented on their platform is as accurate and reliable as possible.
So it's a multi-pronged approach.
Exactly. They're not just relying on technology alone. They're also recognizing the importance of human judgment and oversight.
That's reassuring. It sounds like they're really trying to strike a balance between innovation and responsibility.
Right. They're not just focused on building the most advanced AI possible, but also AI that's trustworthy and beneficial to society as a whole.
That's a crucial distinction, and I think it's something that we need to be talking more about as AI continues to evolve.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that aligns with our values.
Right, and that ultimately benefits humanity.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored Perplexity's new features, we've discussed the pros and cons, we've analyzed the competition,
Right.
and we've delved into the ethical considerations.
Yep.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I think it's safe to say that Perplexity is a company to watch in the coming years.
Yeah, I agree. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI, and they're doing it in a way that seems both innovative and responsible.
Now, before we wrap up this section and move on to our listener questions, I want to pose a final question to our audience.
Okay.
Do you think that AI-powered search engines like Perplexity will eventually replace traditional search engines like Google and Bing?
That's a great question, and I think it's one that only time will truly answer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's clear that AI is transforming the search landscape, and traditional search engines will need to adapt to stay relevant.
It's definitely an exciting time to be following the evolution of search, and I'm really curious to see what the future holds.
Me too. It's a rapidly changing field, and I have no doubt that we'll continue to see some amazing innovations in the years to come.
Well said. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be answering some listener questions about Perplexity AI and the future of search. All right, we're back and ready to tackle some of your questions about Perplexity AI.
Yeah, let's dive into a mailbag.
So the first question comes from a listener named Sarah, who asks, I'm a high school student and I'm really interested in using Perplexity for my research projects, but I'm a little overwhelmed by all the features. Where should I start?
That's a great question, Sarah. I think the best place to start is with the basic search functionality.
Okay, keep it simple.
Yeah, just ask your research questions like you would with any other search engine.
Right.
But pay attention to the way Perplexity presents the answers. It gives you concise summaries with clear citations.
So you can immediately see where the information is coming from.
Exactly. And if you want to dig deeper, you can click on the sources to read the full articles or web pages.
So you're not just getting a snippet, you're getting the full
Mhm.
context.
Right. And as you get more comfortable with the basic search, you can start exploring some of the other features, like the Pages feature.
Yeah, the Pages feature seems like it would be really helpful for students.
Oh, absolutely. You could use it to create study guides presentations or even just to organize your research notes.
So it's like having a digital notebook that's supercharged with AI.
Exactly.
All right, next question comes from a listener named David, who writes, I'm a freelance writer and I'm always looking for new tools to help me research and write more efficiently. Can Perplexity help me with that?
Absolutely, David. I think Perplexity could be a game changer for writers.
How so?
Well, for one, it can help you research topics much faster and more effectively than traditional search engines.
Okay.
You can get concise answers to your questions without having to wade through pages and pages of irrelevant results.
So it's like having a research assistant at your beck and call.
Exactly. And the Pages feature can be really helpful for organizing your thoughts and creating outlines.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could use it to create a sort of mind map of your article.
Exactly. And then once you have your outline, you can easily turn it into a draft by expanding on each point.
That's a pretty cool workflow.
And if you need to cite your sources, Perplexity makes it super easy.
Yeah, that's a huge time saver for writers.
Absolutely. No more manually formatting bibliographies.
Okay, next question is from a listener named Maria, who asks, I'm a teacher and I'm always looking for new ways to engage my students in learning. Can Perplexity be used in the classroom?
Definitely, Maria. I think Perplexity has a lot of potential for education.
In what ways?
Well, first of all, it can make research more fun and engaging for students.
Okay.
Instead of just giving them a list of websites to look at,
Right.
you can encourage them to ask their own questions and explore topics that interest them.
So it's more student-driven.
Exactly. And the Pages feature can be a great tool for collaborative learning.
Hmm.
Well, students can work together to create pages on different topics,
Okay.
share their findings, and even present their research to the class.
So it's like a digital version of a science fair.
Exactly. And because Perplexity provides citations for all its answers, it can also help students develop critical thinking skills.
Oh, yeah. That's important. They need to learn how to evaluate sources and determine what information is reliable.
Absolutely. And Perplexity can help them do that.
All right, next question is a bit more philosophical. This one comes from a listener named John, who asks, with AI becoming more and more advanced, do you think it will eventually replace human intelligence?
That's a big question, John, and one that's been debated for decades.
Yeah, it's a bit of a science fiction trope at this point.
Right. But I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful tool, but it's still a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
So you don't think we need to worry about AI becoming sentient and taking over the world?
I think that's a bit far-fetched at this point. But I do think we need to be mindful of the potential implications of AI as it continues to evolve.
Right.
We need to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits humanity.
So it's about responsible innovation.
Exactly.
Okay, one last question before we wrap up. This one comes from a listener named Lisa, who writes, I'm excited about the potential of Perplexity, but I'm also a little bit skeptical. Can you convince me that this isn't just another tech fad?
Well, Lisa, I think the best way to convince you is to try it out for yourself.
Right.
See how it works, experience the features, and decide for yourself whether it's something that's truly valuable to you.
It's like the old saying, the proof is in the pudding.
Exactly.
But I think what sets Perplexity apart is its focus on accuracy, transparency, and user empowerment.
Those are values that are timeless.
Right.
And I think that's why Perplexity has the potential to be more than just a fad.
I think so, too. All right, well, that's all the time we have for listener questions today.
Yeah, thanks for all the great questions, everyone.
If you have more questions about Perplexity AI or any other AI tools, be sure to follow us on social media and keep an eye out for our next deep dive episode.
And don't forget to check out Perplexity AI for yourself. You might be surprised at what you discover.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions. So to wrap up today's deep dive, we've really explored the ins and outs of Perplexity AI and all the exciting new features they've rolled out.
We've covered everything from Perplexity Pro and the game-changing Pages feature to focus mode and even their new AI assistant for Android.
We've talked about the pros and cons, the community's reaction, and how these updates could potentially revolutionize the way we research, learn, and interact with information.
And of course, we couldn't shy away from those important ethical considerations that come with any powerful new technology.
Right, because it's crucial to ensure that AI is being developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. And I think Perplexity is making a real effort to prioritize transparency, data privacy, and responsible AI development.
Now, before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question to ponder.
Okay, shoot.
As AI continues to advance at an unprecedented rate, how do you envision it shaping the future of knowledge and information?
That's a really interesting question.
Will it lead to a more informed and enlightened society? Or will it create new challenges and exacerbate existing inequalities?
It's a double-edged sword in a way.
Right. AI has the potential to do so much good, but it also has the potential to be misused or to amplify existing biases.
Exactly.
So it's up to us to guide its development and ensure that it's used for the betterment of humanity.
It's a responsibility we can't take lightly.
We need to be having these conversations now to ensure that AI is a force for good in the world.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah, I agree.
We hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought and that you'll continue to explore the exciting possibilities of AI.
And as always, if you're interested in learning more about the ever-evolving world of AI, be sure to follow @AI for the People for more insights and analysis. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.